Hello guys, welcome back to a new tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make terrain in Unity. Well, good looking terrain. So it's not going to look crappy or anything like that. We'll make it look good. So, you may not know even how to add the terrain right now. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. Let's go ahead and click Game Object. Go down to 3D Object. Click Terrain. And this is the terrain. And if you've never seen this before, you're going to be like, well, what is this? How do you even do anything with it? It's flat. It looks terrible. So, to use this, you're going to go over here, and you can see this terrain tool right here in the inspector. And you can click these, and I will tell you what each one of them does. So the first one is raise or lower terrain. It basically raises or lowers the terrain, as the description says. And then the next one is paint height. And that one's basically if you want to have the terrain at a certain height, you can set that. The smooth height, that one's basically smoothing out your terrain. Then after that, there's the paint texture anyway. That one's basically, as it says, you're painting your terrain. Over here, you can place trees. Simple. Paint details, and then here's the terrain settings. We won't mess with the terrain settings right now but we will go ahead and go back to the first one, which is raise or lower terrain. And we're gonna go ahead and make a small terrain. And if you first start painting this, it's not gonna do that much. You'll barely even see a difference. So. I mean, if you do it a lot, you'll be able to make a mountain. But what you're gonna want to do is set the opacity to like 50 or something, and then you can start painting more. So if you're gonna want water, which is what we're gonna want for this, we're gonna create an island. So that's why we want water. So let's go ahead and change the opacity higher to where we can get some nice stuff in here. So don't worry about the bumps and stuff. You don't want to add too much detail right away. There we go. So that's about good. And as you can see, this terrain is very, very shiny, and that is okay for at the moment. But we'll change that later. So go ahead and just create your little island, and it doesn't matter if it has a ton of bumps. We can smooth those out. So we're going to use the paint height, and we're going to hold shift down and press one of the hills. And now when you paint, all of it will be the height of that hill. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to get all of this stuff to be the height, and then we can change the height once we like where that is. And then we'll have to smooth it out. Alright, so then we can go to the next one, we just smooth it. And we can go back to raise or lower terrain. If you hold shift, you can lower the terrain. Let's go ahead and do that. And we have our very small island here. So that's pretty good. We might want to make another big, large mountain over here. Here we go. But it's very smooth and it looks very plain. Doesn't look very good. Yeah. So let's go ahead and if we actually try to paint this, we won't have any textures in here. So it won't matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to click Assets up here, or right click in your project manager and do import package, and under there you're going to see environment. You're going to import that. And that will import in, and I will be right back when it imports. Okay, so this will show up when you import. Just saying, if you never actually imported anything, when it's done loading, it'll say import Unity package, and there'll be all this stuff, and you're gonna want to click import. and then it's going to actually start loading again, so it shouldn't take that long. Okay, so everything is imported. So you'll see in the project manager standard assets, in here environment, and then you'll see all the stuff. So if you go under water and do water 4 prefabs, water 4 advanced, I think this is the one we can see. Not sure. Let's raise it up. If you scale this, it's not going to look good at all. You're actually going to have to duplicate it. Well, if you want, you can do water 4 simple, which may be a better one. Well, let's see. Sorry about that. Looks like it's rotated completely wrong. Maybe not. Alright, so instead of using water 4, let's just use water. And under prefabs, yeah, there we go. And if you scale this up, this looks okay. But it doesn't look like an ocean or anything, so what you're going to want to do is change it to, well, whatever you want to. So let's change some stuff here. Let's do, so refractive is basically you can see through it, and that's not what we want. Reflective, that should work for right now. We will most likely change this in the future, though, if we keep this project. Doesn't look very good. Simple looks worse. So reflective is what we'll keep it up. We'll probably change that in the future. Okay, so let's just go right into painting this, because that's what's cool. So let's go ahead and go into the paint texture under the terrain. Click edit textures and then add texture. And then over here, you can see the normal map and the albedo map, which is the RGB of it. So the color map. And we'll do sand first, because this whole thing's going to be sand. And when you do that, everything turns to sand, and that doesn't look good. So if you add another texture, if we did grass, then add another one after that, and do grassy rocks. One more after that. And that should be the, well, actually we'll do the mud and then the cliffs. So that one actually has a normal map, so we'll assign that. Sorry if there's noise in the background, by the way. There may not be, there may be. Okay, let's go ahead and find the cliffs. They're going to be somewhere in here. Cliff Albedo, here they are. This does not have a normal map, even though I think it actually should. Okay, if you actually edited one of these textures, you can see how metallic it is, how smooth it is. We'll want to actually have the sand pretty smooth. No metallic on it. So apply that. That looks pretty good. And let's go ahead and actually add some stuff to this. So if we try to add grass, it doesn't really add. So you got to change the target strength. So let's put that all the way up. And we'll just paint this. So go ahead and paint all the areas where you're going to want grass. It doesn't have to look good. We just want it to appear there, as we can make it look better later. And then all the places that you're just going to want dirt, we're going to change the target strength to where we can mix it in. Mix it in with the dirt, so let's go ahead and do that. There we go. And then we can just add some more grass just to, just because, oh, just to mix it in. Make some places look better than others. Okay, so then we'll add the mud in. The mud will be kind of underneath the water. and maybe kind of touching some areas of the land. So you can add that all in. And maybe on the side of the cliff too, that would be kind of interesting. So now we can add the cliffs in. So let's go and just paint them in. You can also add them in as objects, but they don't have that in the import, so there we go. Let's mix some dirt in with that, and also some mud. As mud is mixed in with it. And Control-Z does work, by the way, in making terrains. So you might be like, well, this doesn't actually look that great because, yeah, the textures, it's just a texture and it doesn't look that good. Well, that's because we haven't added any foliage. So let's go to the trees. We're going to click Edit Trees, Add Tree. And then we can add a tree. We'll do the palm trees first. And then we'll add another tree. And that'll be the broadleaf. And then the conifers. Okay, so let's go ahead and add the palm trees first, and if you add it, there'll be like 1,000,000 that are added, which isn't actually the best. So we'll change the tree density to lower, and to about 26, by the way, and the brush size to lower too. And we can start adding some palm trees in different areas. So, here we go. And just a couple. You gotta make it look natural, so not too many, maybe 1 or 2 on these smaller islands. And a couple over here too. There we go. So then let's go ahead and add a small forest. So we do the broadleaf. And these should be added over here. There should be a lot of them added because it's going to be a smaller forest. So let's do some stuff here and there. Good. And then the conifer will be on top of the mountain because there's taller trees for taller mountains. And maybe if you can mix up you in with the other trees here over there, but that doesn't really matter. So go ahead and mix in the conifers on the mountain too, just because we can. And add some more trees over here. There we go. So now that we have this done, it looks pretty good, but we don't have any grass yet. So let's go over here and add some grass. So add a grass texture. You can also add a detailed mesh, but we're not going to do that. So the dry color will make this darker. Actually, for this, so we're actually going to set the alpha to 0 and set them to white and black. There we go. And billboard will work. Actually, we're going to not do billboard. So now we go down here and we'll select this one and we'll add it. And then we'll add another one. And then do the second one. And then we have to set the black and white texture again. Or black and white colors. By the way, this won't affect like this color will change to gray, and the colors that were here will appear there. So if you just set the alpha to 0, it will work. And uncheck billboard. And if you see, the grass is very large and does not look realistic at all. So we need to actually edit this and change the minimum depth to 0.3 and the maximum 0.1. And actually, this is the wrong texture. There we go. And the minimum height, actually, yeah, 0.56, sorry, and then 0.12. Apply that and edit this one. And this one will be a little bit taller, but still on. not the tallest, or not as tall as it was before. So that should work just fine. And then the opacity and the target strength need to go down to where we don't see as much of them. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and add an inch of grass in these areas. If you remember, let's see, if you've ever gone to the mountains or anything, you won't really see much grass on top of the mount, or on the cliffs of the mountains. There might be a few pieces, but not that much. So we'll change target strength to lower. There we go. And this should be fine. There we go. Okay, so that wasn't. There we go. So that was that's how to create the island. But we can't explore it right now, so that's kind of sad. So let's go ahead and import another package, and this time we'll click characters, and this one will go a lot faster. Let's import it, and it will import. Sometimes the Ethan Normworlds or anything Ethan really takes a long time because it's such a high resolution texture. If you never opened this package, that is the third person character. His name is Ethan. And he has very high resolution textures, so it will take a while to load in. Okay, so when you import it, you may not see it, but it is actually in the standard assets, and I did not mean to move whatever that was into there, but it shouldn't matter. So now if you go under, instead of environment, go under characters, first person, prefabs, and pull in the FPS controller. So let's actually move him to one of these smaller little islands up here, because that's what let's do. So let's move him all the way out. There we go. He's out of the water. And now if we played this, we can't really actually see it because it's not maximized. So let's unplay, maximize it, and go look around some. So as you can see, this looks really good already. It looks pretty realistic. The water looks really good, as you can see. It has a nice reflection in it. We can go under and see what's under, which is actually pretty cool. You can just see this there's a lot of mud, which is awesome. So let's walk on over to the other island. If you want to run, by the way, with this character, you press hold shift. So let's go ahead and explore this island. So no grass over here, which is interesting. Here's some grass. It doesn't look very real, but it's real enough. If you want to edit it more, you can, and that will make it look a lot more realistic. If you want to spend more time going through these trees than doing the grass and making the trees in the right places, then you can, and it will look much more realistic. So if we run up this island, which you shouldn't probably be able to do as a character going like straight up a mountain. If you want to, you can just keep clicking space and you will run straight up. There we go. And we can jump all the way back down and probably dive right in the water. Come on, dive right in the water. No. There, okay. So, if we want to actually edit the broadleaf trees, I think I actually set them as the mobile ones, which we do not want. So let's go ahead and edit the tree. It's for desktop, but we might actually want to change this to for mobile. Yeah, because it actually looks better than the one the other broadleaf ones that are supposed to be for desktop, but the other ones look better. And this island looks really good. Awesome. A lot of this is Unity 5, of course. So if you don't have Unity 5 and it's not looking real, that's because that's because you're not in the right version. I really like the water here. It's really cool. As you can see, this looks a lot better than the other ones, actually. It just depends on what you're making. There you go. As you guys might think, I'm actually going to use the inventory in here, so I'll do that in the next tutorial. So I'm going to put the inventory in here for this character, and we will have an inventory. And we'll also show you guys how to actually cut down the trees, because that is actually possible, going in and cutting down these trees and getting stuff from it. So guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys liked it. Please leave a like if you did, and if you didn't, of course do a dislike, and tell me what you did not like in the comments. If you want to see tutorials or requested ones or something like that of a certain type, then go ahead and ask me in the comments below. And also, if you want to see another application that you want to learn or something like that, then you can also leave a request for that in the comments below. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial.